welcome. I'm glad you're here today. I'm not going to talk about career growth per se today, but about job crafting. But let me backtrack a little bit, because going all in on career growth can feel really daunting. And especially with kids, you may not feel up for it because, nights are still broken or there's just so much going on that you don't feel up for that next promotion. It's okay to not want that next step in your career. But that doesn't mean that you have to just get through a job that maybe doesn't fulfill you anymore or that's just stressful and really draining. So what can you do? It's job crafting. And what is job crafting? Job crafting is a way to reshape your work from within so you can feel more aligned and energized and even confident in your role without the pressure of making that next big career change. It will make you feel better about your work, and you will naturally set yourself up for future growth because you will feel more in tune with your job and what you're doing because you can focus on your strengths. But I'll go into how to go about job crafting a bit later on in the episode. So whether you're in a season of stability over change, or you're just holding back from applying for something better because it feels too risky right now, this episode is for you. So we'll talk about what job crafting is exactly and why it's a game changer, how you can adjust your tasks, relationships, and mindset to make your work for you, and how tuning into your body can guide this process in ways you might not expect. You know that feeling when you look at your to-do list and think, oh my God, this is exhausting, but I just have to push through. What if instead I told you of just pushing through, you could tweak your job so that it feels more aligned with you? That is what job crafting is about. Job crafting is a concept from organizational psychology that means proactively reshaping your work from the inside out. It's about taking small intentional steps to make your job fit you better, your strengths, values, and interests. And that without necessarily needing permission from your boss. However, if you want to be sure, you create your plan how you want to job craft first, bearing previously discussed priorities in mind, before you take it back to your boss and explain why you want to approach your job slightly differently and how the company benefits from this. And let me tell you, ambitious moms, we are natural job crafters. We already adjust and juggle things constantly, both at work and at home. But often we do it in a way that drains us rather than empower us. Job crafting can shift that. It gives you a framework to do it in a way that benefits you, not just your employer or your family. And the best part is, it doesn't mean taking on more. It means working differently with more intention and alignment. But let's now look at how exactly job crafting works. There are three main ways to craft your job: task crafting, relationship crafting, and cognitive crafting. Let's break each one down with examples because I know you're busy and need tangible ideas. Let's start with task crafting, shaping what you do. This is about adjusting the tasks you focus on or the way you do them. For example, let's say your part of your job involves a lot of repetitive admin work, but what energizes you is brainstorming new solutions. Could you automate some of those admin tasks or delegate them? Could you ask to take the lead on a process improvement project that plays to your strength? It's about shifting your workload within your role to lean into what you enjoy and excel at. Secondly, relationship crafting is shaping who you work with. The people around us have a huge impact on how we experience our work. Maybe you feel currently isolated in your hybrid job or you're missing mentorship. Is there any way in which you could schedule regular check-ins with a colleague you respect or connect with other working mums at your company for support? Building better relationships at work can make your job more fulfilling without changing your title or responsibility. And thirdly, there's cognitive crafting, shaping how you see your job, how you see the work you do. This is where mindset comes in. It's about reframing why your work matters to you. So you maybe feel stuck in meetings all day and it drains you. Instead of thinking, ugh, another meeting or even more meetings, what if you reframe them as opportunities to practice influence, build visibility, or even just connect with colleagues more intentionally? The way we perceive our work can shape how engaged or drained we feel by it. But how do you apply this to your own role? Let's talk about that next. Here are 3 practical steps you can start with today. You start by looking at your job description. What was there from the start? What got added over time, or where did you actively take on more responsibility, or maybe in some instances you just kept saying yes because you wanted to prove your value? But that is really important to differentiate those tasks. What is the core of your job according to your job description, and what got added organically? This step is really important insofar as you want to make sure that you craft within your role. So, if there were tasks that were added on later, you could argue, if that's tasks you want to get rid of course, that they were not in your original job description. But let's get back to that in a bit. Plus, if you need to go back to your boss, your job description is the best basis. You've got to make your case and argue why you want to shift things around and why you want to prioritize differently or bring the priorities more in line with what you've previously agreed with your boss based on your job description. Moving on to the second step means you look at those tasks and decide which ones you love, which ones are okay, and which ones to get rid of. So the ones you love are obviously the ones that energize you, that you enjoy. The ones that are okay, it's neither here nor there. You can just get on with them. But the ones that you want to get rid of are the ones that drain you. And if you're ever in doubt, tap into your body and see how it feels. And then you move on to the third step, which means basically thinking about how do you adjust your workload to do more the tasks that you love, streamline the tasks that are okay, and delegate or let go of the tasks that you have categorized as get rid tasks. Now, get rid tasks, obviously, you need to discuss potentially with your boss, unless they are things that you've just taken on like this and they haven't even noticed, or it's not directly related to your role. But I think you'll be in the best position to judge whether or not you need to discuss something with your boss and what the work culture is, how free you are. But yes, based on these 3 steps, you sort the tasks, you look at what's left, and then set your priorities and potentially talk to your boss about that. However, it may be that you end up having more get rid tasks than the other 2 categories. If you have got a lot of get rid tasks, you could consider the cognitive crafting option and see, is there a way to look at these tasks differently? That is another advice I would definitely also give, is that if you've got get rid tasks and in the discussion with your boss or on your own, you come to the conclusion, well, that's not really something I can get rid of because I don't have anybody I can delegate this to, or it's just too much part of my role, then you might want to look at cognitive crafting and think about, what could I still get out of these tasks when I do them so that it benefits me and that I feel better about them. This wouldn't be a podcast episode of Body from Minds if I didn't talk a little bit about body awareness as well. So let's look at how body awareness can help you with job crafting. For example, when you categorize your tasks or when you consider striking up new relationships, and especially for reframing your perspective onto your tasks or your job, your body is constantly giving you data about what drains you and what energizes you. If we listen, it can guide job crafting. So next time you go through your workday, pause and check in with your body when you start a new task and or after completing a task. Notice tension, ease, discomfort, or excitement and flow experiences. These cues can help you adjust your workload for more fulfillment and more energy. All right, Mama, that's it for today. your challenge? Try one small job crafting shift. And if you want more support, grab my work challenge playbook in the show notes. If this episode resonated, rate, review, or share it with another ambitious mom who needs to hear this. Until next time, more you, less noise.